Good afternoon. So we're back for the fourth part. At this time, you have reviewed TestNav with me. You've gone through the MCAS 2 sessions that Desi has provided for the computer-based testing, session 1 and session 2. And I think at this time it would be a good idea to just review the resources here on this page that are available to you and the students if they need help, specifically equation editor. Sometimes a student may need more guidance there than what we've already provided them. So I thought that would be important to highlight if you want to print something for them. But the fourth part for today is to really explore this new testing site called Edcite. And this was provided to me by the math department chair at Needham High School, whom I met last Friday with. And he found this to be a really helpful site. So I've done some navigating through it, and I think this would be awesome for us to look at and possibly use in our classes to prep for the MCAS if we want to create some of our own questions, which I think many of us will want to do as we gear up a little bit closer, just to get kids familiar with different types of questioning. So why don't you go to that site right now, and somebody could project the video, or one of you project and one of you sit side by side so you're navigating the website at the same time, or just watch the video and then do it yourself when you're done. So my goal today is that we log on. Notice you can log on with your Google account and Westwood, so you don't have to create another account. And to navigate lightly through how do I find some assignments that are already created, and then also how would I create a question or two if I want to push a couple questions out to students. So what's really nice about this site is that if you use Google Classroom, you can actually import your Google Classroom here and push out questions or an assessment to your students. Or you can create a new class, which I did, and I created a math teachers class. And in the math teachers, I only put one person for testing purposes on myself, and that was Tom McGarry, since he teaches Math Plus. So I put one person in, although I could put other people in as well. So let's go back to the home page. And if you want to create a new class right now, go ahead and put somebody else that's in the department in there just for one person's name, or if you have a private email address that you can send it to, and create that new class with one person. Okay, so let's go up to assignments when you're ready. And in the assignments portion, there's a huge library of already prepared assignments that other people have created and shared and made public. So on the far left, we want to go to this drop-down screen and change our options so that maybe just 9th and 10th or 9th and 11th. I'm going to do 9th and 10th for the MCAS are showing. And I'm also going to change it so that only math questions are visible. And then on the far left, you'll see there's also the option to have auto-graded questions versus mixed grading or teacher graded, how many questions you want, and so forth. There's so many options here, images and a video. And so I've done a little bit of navigating through here just to see what are some assessments I could give or assignments that have a lot of questions or a fair number of questions for Algebra 1, since that's what I'm teaching. So Algebra 1, there are lots of questions actually, and you'll see they all get highlighted with depending on topics that are being used. I can scroll through here and put something else in there that'll help me pick and choose some questions. So here's an Algebra 1 practice midterm exam. And so that might be something I want to use. It's 8th, 9th, and 10th graders. So I'm going to preview that on the right here. Notice it looks very similar to the MCAS, which is what we're looking for, what I'm looking for. And it has us using some of the same tools. So I've not taken this test yet. But note we can flag a question. There are notes for ourselves. We can jump ahead to other questions and answer in a different order. So solve and graph the solution set for the absolute value problem. So I haven't done this yet, but maybe this is how we do it. And so there's my answer, which is nowhere near right because I didn't really check it. Let's see, I want 10 on one side, and I want -2 on the other, I think. And then I'm going to be done and grade this question. So you got 1 point. Oh, they're supposed to be open circles. Okay, well, so I could move along to the next question. Or I could go back to this assignment and be done. So I'm going to go to the very end, number 10, review, save, and submit, and I want to go to my last question. Review, save, and submit. And it tells me that I've done some. I haven't done them all, but I'm going to submit my final answers. Okay. It gives us a list of what's happening in here. So I could customize this. There's lots of options. Again, I haven't gone through all of these details, but you can change things in settings on the right-hand side. So there are lots of options to do within an exam. But if somebody else has created this, then your assignment may be changed. You can make copies of questions, but just to note that if they change it, then yours can be changed as well. So if I want to save this, I have to save it before I go ahead and share it, or I want to go and push this assignment out to someone. So I'm going to go back to assignments, and I could find that same question. I'm sure there's a much better way to do this than I've just done it because I have to go back and search it. But it gives me this opportunity to find some already built questions, which is really what I'm looking for so that we're not all recreating things. I have to find that, but I've lost it. No big deal. So that's one way. One thing I'd like you to do today is just kind of look through here, see what algebra geometry questions you can find. And then the second thing I'd like you to do is create a question or two. So back in the home page, you'll see that there are a bunch of how-to videos. It might be just as easy for you to watch a video on how to create an assignment. There are YouTube videos there. I will get you started over here though by going to assignments and questions actually. Excuse me, I want to go to questions and I want to create questions. So I want to make my own bank of questions. Now there's options up here about what you want to make. So I want to filter by subject. So by subject, I want by subject because there are specific types of math questions versus ELA versus science questions that might be asked. So I want to have the math types of questions on the left-hand side. And let's say that I want to create a graph linear inequality or a multiple choice one. So here's a multiple choice one. We get multiple choice. We're going to create a question. On the left-hand side in here, we literally edit this. You type in what you're looking for. There's an edit key in there. There's tools. There's a function, which is your math equation editor that you can type parts in for. And then press OK, and it'll pop in here. We want to name the question. So question number 1, this is practice. Choose the best. Maybe choose one or more solutions to answer the following question. And then over here you can also give more prompts, so more than one solution is possible. We could type in x equals 2, we have x equals -1, we get no solution, and we get infinite. And so it really can't be all of these options, but we could have x is greater than 2, x is less than 2, maybe we do x is greater than 2 and infinite are 2 possible, but notice only one of them is showing. So I want to go to multiple select. So in here, on this little wheel, we could do multi-select. And so I really want that to be shown up. I also want answer eliminator. You can take that off. It's up to you and press done. So now I have 2 options and I would save that. Now I can save that or I can add a second question. So multiple questions to that, different types of questions, math questions. So we have different options here. I'm going to cancel this though right now. So you get the idea. I'm going to save that here. Must have at least one tab. Not sure what that means. One tab. Question. So question saved. I want to go to my questions. So let's see where they are now. So here are my questions over here, back up at the top, my questions. I can put questions in an assignment, but right now I just have a list of questions. So today I'd like you to try making a multiple choice select and a meaning a multiple select, and maybe a graphing one or an open response. Try a couple different ones, play around with this, and so you have an idea of what is accessible to us, because we're looking for user-friendly practice for the kids and for ourselves. Again, home to create your class, assignments, and library for the ones already created, which I think would be awesome to use. There's the filter on the left. Okay, so for the remainder of the time, I would like you to spend a few minutes, 15, 20 minutes on this, whatever you think is necessary. And then the last 30 minutes of today, I would like you to spend the time over here with your teacher teams, the 10th graders, whomever you teach with 10th grade pairs, to determine when TestNav will be explored during class. And that can be like during this week we're going to do it. Maybe you don't know exactly. It could be in about a month, closer to April vacation. And then when the DESI MCAS sessions will be done in class. Notice I'm talking about done in class. And if you have a single person in your class, we talked about trying to put them in someone else's class. So let me know or talk to each other about that. Questions from Edcite in class. I don't think you need to do that today. That'll be after our next PD where we're going to practice a little bit more. And then I'd like to get you to report back to me today on any questions, comments that are still outstanding in terms of the MCAS or questions you have about any one of these sites. And then I'll know how to move forward in the next PD. So thank you very much. Again, the last 30 minutes, return to your groups and then teacher teams. And if time still permits after that, please use your teacher teams to meet with teachers you don't normally TPP with. Thank you.